Hello and welcome back to a quick Pygame tutorial. In this video, you're going to learn how to create a game loop in Python, render an image with Python, getting the mouse position with Python, and render a font with Python. So let's get started. So let's import Pygame and sys. Let's initialize Pygame. This will just start all of the Pygame processes. Let's define a screen with pygame.display set mode 400, 400. So this is going to be 400 pixels across and 400 pixels in height. We're also going to define a clock using pygame.time.clock. And now we can start our main game loop. So let's set done to false and while not done. For every event that's happening to the Pygame screen, for event in pygame.event.get, we're going to filter for the event type. If the event type is equal to pygame.quit, then we're going to quit Pygame. We're using the pygame.quit function and quit Python using the sys.exit function. Just add in that if there. So now once we've done that, we also want to update the screen using pygame.display.flip. That's basically going to process and render a new image. And we also want to tick our clock 60 times so that our program is limited to 60 frames a second. So let's run this, and you see we have a Pygame window here. It's 400 pixels across by 400 pixels down. Pygame's origin is always at the top left of the window to keep it simple. So all of your coordinates are probably going to be a bit upside down. So the next thing, we're going to render an image. So let's create a tree variable and load in an image using pygame.image.load. We're going to load a tree PNG, tree1 PNG, sorry. And that's just in our current directory that our script's located up here. And now we're going to split or render this tree to our screen. So our screen function, our screen variable that we've got up here, we're going to use the blit function to render this tree image that we've got to the screen at the coordinates 200, 200, because that is half of our screen size. So let's run this. So you can see that this tree is not actually, it's rendering at 200, 200. The top left of Pygame's images are always going to be that image's origin. So this image is rendering at pixels 200, 200, and it's slightly off center, but we can fix that later on. So now we want to fill the screen with a RGB value, red, green, blue. So we want to do a 255, 255, 255. That's going to make the screen white. And we want to do this before our screen blit function. Otherwise, we are going to fill the screen after we've rendered this tree, which will mean it will cover up the screen. Oops, sorry, I have made a typo. So here we have a white background and our tree rendering on the screen. Great. Okay, now we're going to get our mouse position, and we can do that in the loop using position equals to pygame.mouse.get underscore position. This is a tuple, so that just means it's a set of two values, like value 1, value 2, just like this coordinate here, and we can actually render this tree at our. So you can see now this tree is actually stuck to our mouse, kind of, and it moves with our mouse. So great, we can get mouse position. What else can we do? We want to render a font, so we can do that by initializing or creating a font using pygame.font.capital F font. None, so that's just going to be Pygame's default font and a size of 50. Pygame, oops, that's a typo. Now we want to render our font to a new font surface, so we're going to type font surface equals to font.render, and we want to render we want to render our game. That's the text that we're going to render, but we're going to set it to false. That's anti-aliasing, so make sure the edges are nice and smooth. We're going to set that to false, and we're going to set the color to blue. Now we want to blit this font surface to the screen, just like we did with our image. So we're going to do screen.blit font surface at say 200, 200, so that's the center of our screen. Now we can see that our game is actually rendering at the center of the screen, but it's off center because the origin of our game is in the top left here where the mouse is, just like that tree we saw earlier. So we can fix that though by subtracting half of the width of the font from the X location. So we can do this by doing font 200, our 200 X location minus font.surf.get width divided by 2. Now our game is rendered in the middle of the screen because we've shifted it over by half of our game's width, so about by 3 letters. And we can also center it on the height as well by doing 200 minus font surface dot get height divided by 2. And now our game is in the center of the screen. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Please subscribe down below. It's free and you can unsubscribe whenever you like. And I hope you enjoyed this video. It's very quick, but it's basics of Pygame, and it's a setup for my multiplayer Pygame tutorial. You can find a video of my multiplayer Pygame script down below. But thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.